Alright, 21W07A. Kind of excited for this snapshot. Quickly want to say though, sorry for missing the last week's snapshot, but there is a video on my second channel if you want to see some of the caves. But yeah, let's just get into it. So unfortunately, you still can't load old worlds with this snapshot, which kind of sucks, but hopefully eventually you will be able to. Alright, so in today's snapshot, they added a new block called Grimstone. Oh, this looks kind of cool. So this is Grimstone. It's an interesting little block. I kind of like how it looks, but this isn't the only variation of the Grimstone. Also got the polished Grimstone, which I'm sure you saw in the creative menu. Also the Grimstone bricks, which is a nice, slightly darker brick, but not as dark as a black stone. Also the Grimstone tiles, which looks kind of cool. And the chiseled Grimstone, which I think looks kind of cool as well. Quite a few new building blocks, and it's kind of really nice. It's a lot brighter than the Blackstone, and I especially like the polished Grimstone. I think that looks super duper awesome. Yeah, it's kind of like a nice halfway point between the regular stone bricks and the Blackstone bricks. I think it looks super awesome. Anyway, something you probably noticed in the creative menu that I definitely noticed was what the hell is going on with these ores. Alright, I'm not too sure how I feel about this. Looks like the lapis ore, the emerald ore, and, well, the diamond ore's been changed a little bit, but the lapis and emerald look the same as they did before, I think. And the diamond ore has a little bit more roughness to it, I feel like, a little bit brighter, the actual texture of it. The gold ore, I think, is probably the worst out of the bunch. I mean, it just, I don't know, these darker orange bits just contrast way too much with the stone color, I reckon, and it just looks kind of weird. The copper, I think, looks the same as it did before this snapshot, and the iron, coal, and redstone. Out of all the changed textures of these ores, not including the diamond ore because that barely changed, I'd probably say the redstone is my favorite, and maybe that's just because it looks like what it did before, pretty similar, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, they also allegedly changed a couple of the stony type textures. I think diorite is a little bit less, I guess, contrasty than it used to be, and maybe the same with granite as well. I'll put some things on screen now of what the textures used to be. Let me just replace that redstone ore. Get this chicken out of the way. Oh my lord. So as you can see on the bottom there are the new textures and the top are the old textures. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this in editing, so I'm not really seeing it. You're not going to get a live reaction from me, but this is what I think with text on screen. Ooh. Alright, and of course there are slab and stair variants of the various brickstone things. Alright, so the rest is, I guess, underground changes. So it's time to look at some of the new generation down here. So apparently they have made the larger caves a little bit rarer, which it looks like they kind of have, and oh, this is a cool cave. Oh, okay, and this is the new Grimstone down here. So as you can see, just going through the cave, and then once you get to a certain point, it turns into Grimstone. That is super cool. Wow. And it looks like there's patches of andesite mixed in as well, which is, it kind of works. I don't know how I feel about it though. Yeah, so I do have to say, I am a pretty big fan of these Grimstone caves. I think not putting andesite here and putting some other like variant of Grimstone would be cool, but I don't know. And I mean, these ores stand out so much. We're definitely going to need some Grimstone ores if there's going to be ores down here, but maybe there's just a placeholder and maybe things are going to change. That being said, these still look super duper cool. Like just seeing that little geode in there, well it's not little, it's actually quite big, but seeing that big geode in there is really, really cool. And while I do have to say I'm not the biggest fan of these new ore types, they do stand out a lot more. I mean, when you're just exploring these caves, it would be a lot easier to spot them, but I don't know. Not sure how I feel about this radical of a change with all the ore types. Oh, okay, so this is so cool. So this looks kind of like a normal cave, almost like a ravine, but then it just goes down and down into Grimstone down here. That is so cool. Man, this new cave generation never ceases to amaze me. It's just absolutely nuts. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, the abandoned mine shafts have been getting a little bit of changes, quite a few changes here. In the previous snapshot, they added these little oak pillars that go down to kind of like show that it's being supported. And apparently cobwebs aren't meant to float, but I guess that doesn't apply to spawners. But yeah, as you can see, they now added chains that hold them up, so it just looks a little bit better supported, I guess. And I think that looks super cool. It just makes the abandoned mine shafts look that much more, I guess, realistic, because before they were kind of didn't really match what the new caves were. I mean, abandoned mine shafts were really cool, don't get me wrong, they were really cool about 8 years ago. over time they kind of lost that coolness, and while they still have a little bit of coolness, I feel like these pillars and these chains are going to add a lot to that, and just add a lot to the atmosphere, I guess. Alright, so another change that you may have already noticed, but it's kind of hard to see if it's not pointed out, is that Granite, Diorite, and Andesite have had a lot of changes with the way they generate. So you can see they're in far, far bigger patches now. You can see that is a pretty big patch of granite up there, and we got the same thing with the andesite. It goes all the way over here. That's way bigger than it ever used to be, and of course the diorite is pretty similar as well. Some of these patches they could probably have generated like that in the past, but I mean, I'm sure we can find one that is just way bigger. Yeah, like this is a massive vein. There's no way that would generate in the previous update. Yeah, I don't know. This gold ore, I'm not a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of this gold ore. I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. Wow, that is so cool. And of course, I did give myself night vision, so it looks a little bit better. So let's look at this place without it. Yeah, it's just the same but darker, to be honest. No, but it is super awesome. I am a big fan of this new cave generation so far, and I'm super excited for some more, I guess, custom things like this to be generated in there as well. Oh, it's going to be awesome. You can tell that Mojang was kind of putting this off for quite a while, not wanting to, I guess, change the caves yet, because there were quite too many uncertainties, but now that they've done it, it's super awesome. I mean, just look at this place. This is so cool. You've got this upper bit here, which comes up, curves around there and up there, and then you got this under bit, which has a bunch of like pillars holding the top section up. Oh, it's so cool. Oh yeah, also, I think the bigger patches of andesite is way, way easier to see down here. You can see that this massive patch goes all the way across here and all up there, which is super awesome. So you're probably wondering, and I'm kind of wondering this too. Okay, so it looks like the Grimstone starts generating below Y0. So anything below Y0, it starts becoming Grimstone until it's just fully Grimstone and andesite, I guess. Yeah, I'm still a firm believer that there should be some other sort of Grimstone alternative, or not alternative, just some other similar block to Grimstone that you can just mix in instead of this andesite to, I guess, vary it up a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe that'll be just way too many blocks in this update, but who knows. All I know is I absolutely love this cave generation. I think it looks super awesome with just all the caves in general, not just these new Grimstone caves, although they do look sick. I think the new caves just in general look really, really awesome. Anyway, so apparently Strongholds are mostly encased in stone now, so let me take a look at how that works. I mean, to be honest, Stronghold generation needs a lot of work. Like floating doors, this has been an issue for such a long time where it just opens up into caverns. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I don't know. Anyway, so I guess it probably just has a less likelihood of generating caves if there's a stronghold there. So that's my guess anyway. Alright, it looks like I've actually found a lush cave in here with these couple grass blocks. Oh, okay. This is cool. This is a Grimstone mineshaft. Look at this. I didn't think this was possible, but I mean, here we are. This is really cool. It doesn't even look like a regular abandoned mineshaft, even though it's literally the same, just with not stone. It just feels so much different. Hey, golden apple. Yeah, but in terms of the strongholds being mostly encased in stone, I mean, we've got a ravine going through this one. I'm not really seeing it that much, to be fair. Like, look at this. None of this is encased in stone. It's all just out in the open. Man, these caves are so crazy. Like, could you imagine you're just walking along? Oh, there's a little bit of a cliff here. Alright, let me try and make my way down here. And look at that. It just opens up underneath this mountain to this just absolutely insane area down here. Look at this place. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put a screenshot on screen now of what Mojang have done. I think this is super interesting. So this is the new ore generation so far. So it looks like stuff like emeralds can generate really, really high up now inside of the mountains, which is awesome. And it looks like, is that iron? Yeah, it looks like iron can like generate high up as well, but not in the middle. And then it can generate lower down as well, which is super awesome. Gold, I think that is. Oh, copper. Copper can generate kind of close to the surface, but not below Y0, while other ores like diamond and redstone and gold can generate below Y0. So that's actually really interesting because emeralds are way, way more common higher up in the world. They're actually the most common higher up in the world, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. I actually really like the idea of this so far. I think it's super cool. Okay, so I have a reason for why they changed the ore textures now. Apparently, they did it for accessibility reasons, so each ore is distinguishable not just by color but also by the shape. I mean, yeah, you could definitely tell the difference between the coal ore here and the redstone ore, but these three are kind of similar. I mean, especially these two have very similar shapes in them. You know, that has the 3 there, the 3 there, that blodge, that blodge, that blodge, that blodge. You know, a lot of the blodges are very similar in the gold and iron, but I guess the color difference is a lot, and the contrast is a lot different as well. I mean, look, fair enough, but I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Maybe some of these textures need a bit of a touch up, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I think that's just about it for 21W07A. Yeah, it was kind of a cool snapshot. I'm pretty excited for some of the stuff they added. Some of the new ore textures, but you know, I think this Grimstone looks super awesome. I really love how this looks, and I can definitely see myself using this in some builds. Like this brick, it kind of reminds me of some of the bricks in Terra Firma Craft, and I mean, I'm certainly not complaining about that. Like, I think that looks super awesome. And could we combine that with brick maybe? Yeah, I think this is a super awesome foundation block and stuff, and this can be used as a flooring even as well, just to, I guess, match it. Like already there's so many more building opportunities for this stuff, and I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to look awesome. But yeah, anyway, I think it's about time I end off this snapshot video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of the snapshot in the comments, I guess, because I personally am pretty excited for some of the snapshots that are coming out recently, and some of the new features they've been doing, and especially new caves. I think the new caves look awesome. Definitely still need a few tweaks with how they work and how they generate, especially with the ores and all that kind of stuff, but I think so far the caves are looking really, really awesome, and I'm really happy with the Grimstone block. I think it's a cool block. It's kind of like brings a little bit more interest, I guess, and a bit more progression type of feel, because of course up the top you have the classic stone, and you get lower down in the world and you have this Grimstone, which is kind of like a halfway between the stone and the blackstone here, and of course the blackstone is only found in the nether, which is even more late game than getting low down in the world. So I think it's super awesome, and especially stuff like these Grimstone tiles. Like, we don't really have many blocks like it in the game. Maybe the closest thing we have would be like nether brick, right? And red nether brick, but even then it's kind of different, you know. It's not really the same, and I feel like a lot of the Grimstone blocks can be very useful in builds in the future. I don't know, I'm super excited for it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me for now, and I think I'm going to end this video off here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful or something, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.